Okay.
I think we're waiting on Aaron. Aaron? Okay, we'll start without Aaron.
He's right there.
Oh,
Standing
are you
right
coming?
there.
Okay.
Are you gonna stand
We're
right
gonna walk
there,
in a
really?
second. I wanted to walk in.
Aaron, we're gonna do a little walk tour in a minute.
All right.
Just of the farm. So just to let everybody know, garden meeting today is because some people were thinking that maybe we were all starting to get on different pages again, and that things were going again as in an individual route instead of a cohesive route. So I wanted to bring everybody back together and talk about what we're still going to do. Aquaponics are a go. They've already been started. They will be finished by this week and in the water, so that's done. Nobody really has to worry about it. T, Rob, and Katie and I have already started. The foam is all cut. The holes still need to be done and the baskets placed in, and those will be finished. Go ahead.
Are they gonna float around? Or
I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have them tied.
Yeah.
They're gonna be pretty much leashed. I'm gonna let them float to the middle of the lake in the middle of the night, so the deer and other predators can't get to them while we sleep. And then during the day, I'm gonna just lure them back, let you pull them back in, and we'll make sure that everything's growing okay. And
Lure them back in.
yeah, go ahead.
You said that other predators won't get to them. However, there is a goblin in the water at night.
The goblin is inevitable. I know that our last meeting was a goblin heavy talk, and we put out the goblin powder, and it hasn't worked. Go ahead.
From previous experience, I know goblins do not like vegetables, so I think we're gonna be okay.
They are quite cunning. Is the problem.
Yeah.
They could
They'll
tell you
use
they
the
don't like,
vegetables
but
to
they
lure
think
good
about.
children.
If they realize what we're doing, they may just want to kind of get in there and cause some mischief.
Like do some gremlinism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do kind of do that like cross species thing where they trick you.
Okay.
So we will bring
We've
that
been on
up.
pretty good terms with them, though.
Well, let's have the goblin committee discuss this.
Yeah, and we will discuss that because it is a big issue. But just so you guys know, aquaponics is already on the ball, and I know we talked about it last time and we gave that a green light. That is still moving forward. We also talked about indoor gardening. That is also moving forward. That was actually supposed to be done. What day was Diane originally supposed to come?
She's supposed to come Saturday.
She was supposed to come on Saturday, but because of the barter change, we had to delay it. And we're going to have another group meeting to that because right now all the tools that she was just going to barter for us, the cost is $65. If we can somehow throw in some more things and get that price up to $100, we can continue forward with the bartering. So
Monday is when.
this was from the chickens.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the inventory list will present it. She basically inventoried everything that she was going to provide for us.
So as long as what's on the inventory is more than $100, we can continue forward with bartering. So hopefully that's what I would like to do. But we had to hit that roadblock, and we had to assess that all of her tools and what she'd gathered for us is more than $100.
Also, the group has to vote.
The whole, not just garden, the whole, we all have to vote.
So just knowing the government pretty well, you guys will write up a proposal for tomorrow and
It's going to include her inventory list and then the barter or buy option.
And you'll give it to the Chunkins today.
Oh, it's
We
ready.
don't have it today.
It's ready. I have it.
Do you have
It's
it?
on the
Okay, she
computer.
does have it today. So we
It's on the
can do
computer.
that, yeah. Because that's Monday, that's tomorrow. So we'll have
Yeah.
it ready by tomorrow then to present. That's going to include the inventory list, the kind of roadblock we had as to why we couldn't just do the barter in the shape that it was originally,
Okay.
and the revision, and then we'll move forward from there. But so far, the indoor gardening is still a go. We're just going to see if the group is more comfortable with buying or bartering.
Okay.
So that's still a go. So we have the aquaponics and the indoor gardening are still rolling. The one thing that I know we were kind of still leaving it up in the air because we were waiting on a tiller, which didn't come into fruition. But the reason we haven't tilled this yet is because I know we were looking for a mechanical tiller. By hand is very difficult. Farmer Lefty's guy never came to me, never got back with me. I've left him a few messages and I've called Lefty, but I haven't heard back from Richie that was supposed to take care of our tractor for us, which was going to be used to till. Our second option was to rent a push tiller, which is $200. I wanted to wait until today to ask you guys if you thought it would be beneficial to use that $200 to get the push tiller and finish the farm, or if you thought it more. Go ahead.
Wasn't there a one that was like 140, but you got them down to like 100 or something?
$100 a day. I imagine we need it for 2
Oh,
days, so
okay.
that's where the $200 came.
Oh, okay, I got you.
One day be fine if it's 5 horsepower.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, so
But
let's just.
it won't
go ahead.
work, but it'll run for.
It won't work?
It's too rocky soil. The rocks will kick in the tines. It'll just ride across the top.
So that's the
It'd
thing.
be
Is, so
insignificant.
are we still going to try planting in the ground even this late?
Well, this is what the second option was. Economically, are we going to take the money that we were going to use for the push tiller and buy what we still need left for aquaponics and the greenhouse? Aquaponics, really all we need left to buy monetarily, which I was going to try and find if we could find a way around it by building them ourselves or what have you. Worst case scenario, we'd have to buy the baskets, the hanging baskets that go inside the foam. That's really our only cost there. I haven't priced them out. I will do that. But my thought was whatever we didn't use to spend on the tiller, we would put forth towards putting our eggs in those different baskets. Go ahead.
Sorry, I know I don't have a say. My one concern would be spreading ourselves too thin, and I think it might be smart to focus on the two things that might last longer in the season than the one bigger expense that may or may not last much longer in this season.
From here, I'm going to let Cal speak because from what the group understood when we last spoke, was that there really wasn't a point to continue tilling. We were late in the season. Anything that's going to grow on the ground is going to not survive its first frost, and it's counterproductive not just economically but also in energy and labor. Since speaking to Cal, he said he spoke to a gardener outside, so if no one minds, I'd like for him to share his wisdom with us or what we don't know, and then we can make another group decision if that's okay. But just so everybody knows, everything else is a go-ahead. The farm is really the only thing that is still kind of up in the air and we're deciding. So that's kind of hanging in the balance, and that's going to determine how fast we can finish aquaponics and indoor gardening. So go ahead, Cal.
First of all, I'd like to say, I don't really care how much food we produce. I really want to work together, and whatever you all decide is totally fine with me. I feel like there's a lot of negativity associated with the garden, and I don't know, I wasn't here for what caused all that, and I really want to move that energy in whatever way is going to help it feel better. To me, a garden is a refuge. It's not a place to run away from, all right? Like this. Everyone's like, oh, I don't want to go in there. And I'd like to shift that energy, all right? Yeah, it's late. I did talk to a gardener before I came in here that's from the area. A disclaimer to start up front, am not a Mediterranean gardener, right? This is a much warmer climate. It's a much drier climate that I'm from, but I do grow all my own food in, a temperate climate north of here, and I understand soil, I understand light cycles, I understand times of year for planting and stuff. There's definitely a limited amount of crops we can still plant this time of year. About half the garden is too shaded to really put much energy into. This front half, I wouldn't even bother with this time of year. But the back half is still going to get enough sun. We grow a lot of things. The farmer I talked to said it's, probably shouldn't get too many frosts here. It'd be January is what he thought at the elevation and where we're at. We can grow 3 crops of lettuce before then, in our own garden. I'm also a huge fan of cold frames, which are just about free. It's a little mini greenhouse you just move and set over the plants that you want to get the extra warmth. Works very well. I looked at the tractor. I'm confident if I have a battery and a $20 solar panel you get at Napa that charges your battery, you just put it on your dashboard of your car and it trickle charges your battery. And a piece of copper wire that wide. What's up?
It needs a what's called cap and rotor.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw that?
It's got the rotor. The cap is broken.
It's broken. You want to put something on there?
Yeah, I can jump it with a piece of copper wire. I'm very confident I can make it work. But I have to have a battery and I have to have a solar panel to get it started. Or I could if somebody comes in for a yoga class, I'd be like, let me have your battery for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? I could do something like that too. And a rotor's $12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The cap appeared to be in good shape to me.
Need some new plugs for that thing too.
I didn't take them out. I saw one was brand new on the end.
We took that out of something else. Put it in
okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to look at it a little more. I was just at a cursory overview.
Yeah.
It's, even bad plugs will run for a while. It's been my experience. You clean them off, you put them back in. It is amazing how fouled they can be and still run those old tractors. Mm-hmm. So I think that we could till for no cost, except for a $20 solar panel, that it's nice to have for your equipment anyway, because it'll keep the battery charged all year long. That's what I think. I don't care about that either. I'm happy to have, if I got 5 guys, 2 hours a day, we could till up all the area that I want to work on, no problem, no expense, no tractors, no nothing. And 2 hours a day is kind of fun to use your muscles and sweat a little bit anyway. The two things I'm concerned with the garden are light, because the trees, as the sun goes, every day it's going to go a little lower to the horizon. Does that make sense? So our area that's sunny is going to get a little less. I'm much more concerned about that than frost. I mean, we got plastic, I mean, a huge roll of black plastic. If it's going to frost, put black plastic across everything. Yeah, and then morning, you get up, you pull it back off again. Frost isn't a concern for me at all, especially being in Southern California. I'm not from here, but it's got a reputation, or I don't know. I'd love to talk to the gardener lady, of course. The second thing is deer. I would like to consolidate the greens, the things that are succulent here. I mean, anyone having fun over there, you do what you want. I would suggest the same thing to you. If you're going to dig beds, though, dig them on the far side. You'll get more sun, you know. And to me, all the work you're doing is really great for next spring, you know. I mean, you might get some things now. That's awesome. But all that work that's done is really usable next year. The ground's already broke up. We know what the soil's like. Hell yes, that's not wasted effort anyway. But I'd focus on the far side for the sun factor, you know? And to me, this would be enough. I just want to move the energy here, you know? Like, people are like, oh yeah, the garden. And then I'd love to walk down there and tell you my thoughts on what I think should happen. I can probably till it myself with Mike's help in 2 or 3 weeks, you know? Even an hour and 2 a day with Mike, me and going slow. So I'm fine. I mean, if you don't mind me putting my energy into that, you can do your aquaponics, you can do your greenhouses. I mean, I love greenhouses, but that's just how I feel about it. It's too awesome of a resource not to at least put a little bit of energy into. And from a personal point of view, this doesn't require any oil, doesn't require any, you know, shipping across seas, any manufacturing, any pollution, any climate change. And I really like that aspect of things. I don't like having to buy things at stores. I don't like having to support, you know, really polluting industries. So I would love to put some energy into this personally. I'm not experienced in the area. I can't promise for 100% that it'll work out like I say it will, because I have never gardened in this area before. But I'm really confident that I can grow a lot of dang food in there with, you know, everyone working together.
So, Cal, why don't you tell the group then down in the farm what you intended to specifically till?
Yeah, I'd love to walk down if we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. 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 What's that barrel doing down there?
Be careful. Nobody get lost in the corn maze, please. I don't want to get lost in the
I
corn
love
maze.
that corn maze. I don't care what anybody in the whole world has to say about the corn maze.
I don't want to have to tie a string to pull anybody out.
So, first off, you know, I was digging around in here, not because I was really trying to get much tilled up, but I wanted to see what the soil was like. And it turns out soil on the hillside is very poor, but Mike happened to notice that as soon as he hit the flat, there is a fair amount of actual good compost. Someone's put a lot of stuff in the soil. There's like potash and mushroom compost in the flat part, all right? So I'd like to, for now, leave the terraces, although I would plow it if we had the tractor running, and I would start putting compost, started putting manure in it. I built a composting bin today that's an efficient one, and it's for another conversation, but I'd like to
the
start.
manure had a fly issue, somebody said?
It's another conversation. Yeah. I just want to say that it's there. We'll use it for the house stuff now, but we'll talk about that another time. This soil is good. The tree is no joke of a problem. I mean, that's our level, and pretty much right here is like our, you know, from here that way we can do something with it at this point. I bet you we could grow a couple of crops of lettuce even in this, but then it's going to get dark. It's not going to thrive. It's going to be all right. And if we make some cold frames, and if we do rows instead of the circles, cold frames really can sit right on top of the rows. It's cheap, it's easy, and super effective. And then what I thought about for deer, right, which are no joke. They make this stuff, it's bird netting, and it's just plastic mesh. It's, you know, 7 foot by 25 foot long. It's relatively cheap. It's $13 a package last time I bought some. For $150, we can fence in the whole thing for deer to, it's not a lifetime fence, but it's certainly good for a year or 2 or 3, depending on the UV rays. And that would need to happen in the relative future, because even this buckwheat and stuff, they'll be here. You know, I mean, like what's out there is not near as good as what's here, and it's only going to get worse for them. So even if you're going to just keep this, we'll need to circle that or whatever with something. I mean, if we had dedicated, I'd go and start cutting branches and making a pole fence and, you know, and rustic. But because, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't eaten more of it already. I think they just haven't found it yet. You know, once they find it, it's going to be.
We've chased them out here a few times. I know Hex has chased
So
them out
my
a lot.
question to you then is, are you interested or think that the keyholes are salvageable?
Well, you know, here's another thing that's hard to say, right? A lot of the things that are planted in here you can't grow this time of year. Like say corn, for example. It's just not possible for the corn to grow up in the amount of time that's left in the growing season to get an ear of corn from it. It's just not, there's no way. Even if the corn was this tall, you couldn't do it. It's just not possible. Pumpkins, squash, I mean, even if it was planted a month ago, even if it was planted 2 months ago, it's too late in the season. They need heat and sun to produce tomatoes, any of the nightshades, I mean, potatoes, eggplant. It's got to be established. These are springtime crops, right? So anything that says potatoes, or like that's almost all buckwheat there. Buckwheat's not very, I mean, it produces a seed that's like a diamond. It's just hard as rock. It's an excellent cover crop.
That's what it is, a cover
It's
crop.
excellent cover crop.
Did Bella share with you her design with these crop circles?
No, well, yes.
I'm just curious.
Fine line,
I don't know.
baby, fine line.
Yeah.
We could show you the paper and what's in them.
I really don't
Yeah.
like being insulting, is what I'm
I know,
trying to say
I know,
here.
I
And what
know,
I'm saying
I
is a lot of things are planted here that, like, cover crops are planted when it's not your growing season. Does that make sense? So if you have a growing season, you plant there, and then when it's cold in the winter and you can't grow anything, you plant your cover crops. So we don't need space in cover crops right now, like clover and buckwheat, that could be growing food for us. I'll even take one further, right? We're here for a year, 2, 3, right? This is fertile soil. We don't have to plant no cover crops. We don't even have to put anything in this soil for 2 or 3 years because it's not going to be depleted. All right. Also, this is a tiny area. Cover crops are for fields. You can't afford to put manure on 10 acres, so you plant clover, right? We got cow manure. We got all sorts of stuff. We're gonna have enough compost from our kitchen to cover this space and everything we could possibly want to keep it fertile without having to cover crop. I'm not saying rotation isn't valuable. Rotation will have to happen. You can't plant tomatoes the same place every year, right? But that's different from soil fertility. Right? Okay, so this is my, not trying to be mean or cutting to anyone, but that's how I garden, you know. So anything that can't be food value. We have about 2 acres under cultivation, but we till with pigs.
Is that a quarter?
I'd say more than a quarter. I'd say between a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so moving forward.
Yes.
And I spoke to you a little bit ago. You said it would be possible for us to transplant,
Yes.
which means remove what's growing and fertile here right now in
Right
the
now.
keyholes.
That's right.
Taking them out of the garden momentarily, tilling all of this,
That's
and
right.
putting them back in.
That's right.
Can you give me a time frame as to how long that would take?
Well, here's the thing, right? It doesn't have to happen right now. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like, I'm still working on potting things up. I'd like to get a lot of things established. Does that make sense? And we need to get the tractor going. I would visualize tilling in a week.
Okay.
You see, the bigger the plants are, for most plants, corn and stuff doesn't transplant well, but we're not worried about that. Root crops, lettuces, all those things transplant well, the bigger they are.
So what I understand then is we need the tractor tiller for this land.
Yes, you have to have a mold board plow or a subsoiler, to at least break this up, is my perspective on the soil. We could certainly run a tiller over it and you'll get 3 inches,
And you're estimating that the cost to fix that is
$15.
okay, as opposed to the $200 that it would cost for us to.
That
to
will do
run
an
behind.
ineffective job.
Okay.
We don't need to do either of those. Honest to God, I would prefer to use us together working in here. We can leave all these exactly as they are. We can do round the edges, I mean, these pathways are ginormous, you know? And I have no issue with that. I have no issue with just tilling this part, right? But whatever's going to bring the group together the most.
Did that break up?
We
Over
did
there?
this in like less than an hour.
In an hour.
But how, when you got to the flat, you said it was easier? Or?
It's not that it's easier, it's just that it's a different type of soil.
It's a different type of soil.
Yeah.
Also, Diane said part of the things that are for sale are some more tilling tools in her used part, and she said she had some tips to soften the soil because she farms in this area.
Great, I'd love any, because
So
I'm not
that's
from here.
just-
Tell Diane to bring a couple of high heels over here and we can walk around.
So she specifically said that she has some insight into
I'd
softening the
love
soil.
to get some
Well,
tips
if we
on
were
that.
going to decide to do the transplant option, I want to do it with the tractor. I don't want to have you guys out here doing it by hand no matter how many tools we have. It's counterproductive to me, especially when we can fix the tractor for
We can
$15.
get out of the sun.
Huh?
So we can move out of the sun.
Okay, let's go
It's
do
right
that.
there. I'm from Portland.
Does that thing hook to the tractor?
Yes, that's a
our
disc.
plow.
Yeah.
That first you moldboard plow and then you disc. Usually,
What is a moldboard?
That thing over there is a horse-drawn moldboard plow.
So we have that in our possession.
We have it right there.
Okay.
Can't hook that sumbitch up to honey.
That's true.
Is that a possibility?
We can make neck yokes for them, but dairy cows are not built for drafting.
We're
You know,
kidding.
oxen are.
Not
I
gonna
wasn't
happen.
really
We
getting
could
but-
hook them up to you.
Okay.
So
I
in
had
the
draft
interest
horses
of moving this forward then, we have two options. We can table this for now, and we can talk to Diane and see what our options are. And we can also price the
Rotor.
rotor and what have you.
And I bet you I can get it going without. I bet I get a piece of copper wire in there. I bet I get it going. We need gas and a battery. And a $20 solar panel.
And that battery is supposed to have
Battery's
had
gone.
that battery.
Well, let's talk about
I
this
gave
then.
some to charge.
Yeah, so it should come back charged. I still want the
Hopefully.
solar panel for $20. I
Let's
do.
talk about this then really quickly. Originally, we were just going to keep the keyholes till the flat that's the negative space that's left. That's our one option. Obviously, that's going to stay free of charge. Or we have the second option, which is to transplant and use the tractor when it's priced and fixed. Is anyone? I mean, I think we're still kind of ill-informed to make a vote, but does anyone want to voice which one they're kind of leaning towards right now?
I from the beginning wanted to till over everything and start.
To me, it changes the energy.
Are
I'd
we
rather-
all
I like the
confident
idea of
then? Are we
unifying the
confident
group
enough to make a
from a
vote
new
then?
slate.
Well, the only thing I would want to do is maybe, like in the morning for half an hour, I don't mind manually tilling until we
I
get
have
the
no.
tractor
I was
going.
gonna say we can obviously keep manually tilling until that's fixed.
Yep.
My question is, are we gonna do the transplant method and remove the keyholes? Is my question.
Well, we don't have to vote on that now until we get the tractor,
Let's
right?
think about it.
Yeah,
Everyone
I mean we
chew on
can
it.
think about it, but remember that that's something we do have to
I
think
like
about.
what he said about changing the energy.
Yeah, I like.
I also
everyone
want to
starting
mention
in
this,
a
okay?
clean
And I'm
slate.
serious about this. If Bella is adamant against it, I don't want to do it. Because it's going to be bitterness for months afterwards, and I would rather work around and I mean, I hate to give in to tyranny, but in this case, I would rather work around
We
than
do have a solution for that, though.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
the
think
end of
about
every
that.
month.
Well, anyway, just throwing it out there. Like, I like harmony in the group way more than getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of ground here to work. To do.
I just want to make sure whatever decision we come to that it's actually we're going there.
Executed, yeah.
Because this has been kind of like we've been battling back and forth with this, and I don't like to sound like it's got to be one way or the other, but at this point, you guys, I really want it to be one way or the
Or the
other.
other.
We could also think about it, wait to see what Diane says. In the meantime, if the
We're
guys
going to
want
do
to
that.
till.
But I'm just saying, as far as
Yeah.
the keyhole guys, like, let's either just do it or not do it.
Right.
This whole, like, moving it around and, like,
Right.
going around it, it just kind of gets,
have a
like,
plan and
Yeah.
execute it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so do keep that in mind that, not to sound like I don't care about our feelings, but we are transplanting. We're not getting, it's really just the shape of the garden. I wanted to understand that we're not just going, "Wah," and like going over and completely disregarding what she has to say, but at the same time,
You want us to till those motherfuckers.
I do. But seriously, I want us to just like get this over with.
Yes,
Yeah.
I understand.
It's been going back and forth and back and forth, and so I think at the point now, we'll talk about money later. But what I want everybody to think about is keeping the key gardens or not keeping the key gardens is what we have to address now. Okay.
Let's
But
have
from
another
your
group meeting.
opinion, transplanting when they're a little bigger, would be good enough.
Yes,
Okay.
I think we'll save most of them.
Okay.
And most of what's in there is cover crops. Is things we can't eat. Is watermelons. Is there's nothing going to happen.
So a logical, from a logical point of view, it would be best to get rid of the keyholes. It's not
The
feeling.
only thing that's against us is the time of year. That is going already. It's a month ahead, which is no joke in the growing season. But there's not very much that's actual food that will produce in
Right.
there. So we're backing up a little. We'll do everything we can to save anything that's already. I don't know how it'll transplant here. This is not my bioregion.
I think that's a compromise. I'm okay with it.
Well, so let's do this, Cal. You and I tomorrow, when we have the internet, we will really get started on fixing that tractor.
Great.
Go ahead.
You know,
What, do we have lettuce and stuff to plant? Or do we need to buy seeds?
we have pretty much no seed for lettuce.
Right.
And we need a lot, because here's how it works, right? I plant lettuce. And then a week later, I plant the next bed of lettuce. And then a week later, I plant the next bed of lettuce.
Right.
And then as it grows, we eat it.
Bella
as
did
it goes
also
along.
say that we could have her seeds. I don't know if that offer's still going to stand once we say that we're probably not going to keep the key gardens. But that's another thing that you
I went
and-
through her
and-
seeds last night.
Okay.
Everything that I need is gone.
Okay.
For springtime, she has so many seeds. She's got corn, she's got beans, she's got squash, she's got things we'll need in the springtime. But we don't need it now.
So tonight, will you do me a favor and write a list of seeds that you're looking
Okay.
to put in the garden once it's tilled and it's ready?
I mean, they probably have them at the feed
And then in
store.
terms of, in
They probably
terms,
sell them at the feed store.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll ask him what he thinks is going to be
That-
best. And then I've done a little research too. I'll see if they're synonymous to what I saw.
So
another
hex-
option,
sorry.
we just still staying on the seeds topic, if we're gonna bring it up to 100 to barter, we can ask her to pick them up for us and it can be a part of the barter price.
Yeah, that'd be
That's true.
cool.
So
Diane
that's
would be really helpful in
that's
that.
just
so
another
savings.
option.
Okay, so then
see
we'll
where-
talk to her tomorrow too. But make
Wanna
sure,
roll down
Cal,
the
if you
hill?
would tonight, have a list of things we're asking
Yeah.
for
Don't
feel
seeds,
bad
and then
about running
Nikki
the
and I will
corn
bring
over
them to
'cause it wouldn't
Diane and see if we can make that part of the $100 barter.
We can make a cap and rotor part of the barter.
I can make that one run if we have a battery, I bet you.
Oh, I don't doubt it, but instead of like rigging it,
Yeah.
we can just add
Have
that
a
in 'cause
proper one.
it's not going to be much.
Yeah,
Even
that's what I
if it's
thought.
even if it's just the rotor,
That's what I thought.
you
It's
know,
not
I mean,
much.
it's probably going to come together.
Yeah.
So,
I
Cal, will
would-
you then make me a list of things we need for the tractor to have it running and seeds you want to see in the ground
Yep.
tonight? And then I'll present it to Diane and see if we can get that brought up to $100.
Yeah, there's a couple other things I would like to,
Whatever you think is going to be necessary.
The fencing. I'd love to get the fencing. I would really love to get a book on Mediterranean, Southern California growing, because I'm inexperienced and I'd like to have a reference manual. I wrote it all down. I can't remember.
Yeah, write everything down
Yeah.
from.
So the fence.
Oh, I
is
want a
couple
soil
hundred?
sample. I want 2 soil samples. I want a soil sample from here. It costs $15 at the county extension agency where I live. You take a soil sample down, they test it, they tell you everything that's in it. Are you lacking nitrogen? Are you lacking potassium? Are you lacking phosphorus? Are you lacking sulfur? What's the pH of the soil? These are very important questions. This is the very first thing I do when I go to garden somewhere. Soil test. And then this soil is quite a bit different, as anyone who's worked here, than the soil in the beds over there. And so I'd like to get that soil tested too, just because I want to know what's in it.
Well, then, like I said, do the tractor, do what you're going to need in here to make
Yep.
that a reality, and then even include your soil test. Estimate your prices as best you can,
Yep.
just so I have a visual. And if you could have that to me by tonight, then Nikki and I will talk to Diane about it tomorrow, see what we can get the barter to, and see if we can't get it all bartered.
I have a list of all the things that I asked for and the prices I think they'd cost. I don't have the seed list yet.
Yeah,
but
go
I
ahead
can
and
do
finish
that very quickly.
You got the tractor list too already?
I have the tractor list.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, seeds then, and then give it to Nikki and I.
But the tractor list doesn't include after I hear turn. Does that make sense? Like,
Maybe everything you need to get to tilling.
yeah, well, I mean, like,
Like
if I
gas.
hear turn, I need gas.
Yeah,
but
like
I might
add
need
that.
things that, like, I might need a coil. I might need
Just write down what you know as of right now. Best you know.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say it's going to be $12, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the solenoid is bad too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's bad until I can hear it turn over. And
Okay.
stuff.
Yep, that's fine. Then write down what you need as of right now, and
Okay.
we'll talk to Diane and see how much we can get it bartered for. Good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job, team.
Wait,
Go ahead.
question. Okay, so Cal said he's not interested if Bella is going to have an issue with this. So how would you approach Bella about this?
I want to let Bella know that I don't not appreciate all the hard work that she's done for us thus far. I know Cal spoke to her about getting the energy kind of to come together, and she even told me that she wasn't against that.
Okay.
She was concerned that we were just going to go "Faw," and get all the seeds and the
Just
crops
forget
and
about
just,
it and
you know,
just
till it
start
all
over.
over. So I want to let her know, like, this is bringing everybody together. We're going to save everything that you put in the ground. We're really just changing the shape of it, and it's going to change the energy, and it's all going to come back together.
Right.
So
Can I have her actual tool? I'd love to get Bella and we have a talk with her, and then we all get really close to her and like tell her how much we appreciate the sacrifice she's making, and that we see how much her vision was here, and that, you know, we're not trying to push her out.
Yeah.
We want to bring her closer
She's
together.
very and she did explain she's very uninterested, you guys, at this point in being part. She asked
Doesn't
me to
want to
please
be?
not be a part of this.
Okay.
So we're not shutting Bella out. Bella just didn't want us to just kill everything. She called them her children. She just doesn't want to see them run over. So we'll talk to her.
Yeah, but the buckwheat are her children. The watermelons are her children. They can't produce right now.
You just have to let her know then the best you can.
The thing is, this is how it is. Have you ever been like, you know, let me think of an example. Like, you like a boy, and he's not that into you. He's into your friend. So what do? Well, I don't really. I didn't like him anyway. I didn't want to have any part of it anyway, because you don't want to be refused. You don't want to be rejected, and that is what I think is happening here. I think that she's like feeling very rejected and leaving because she's hurt, and I want her to leave because she wants to support the group or to feel invited to be part of it in the way that's okay with us. That's why I wanted to have a circle. Us all sitting and saying, you know, we appreciate it. We want to work this out. You know, as a group, we want to change the energy, and the spiritual vibe here is really down. And we're sorry about the investment of seeds, and we're excited to use your other seeds in the spring. And it's just so valuable that you brought them. Build her up, show her we appreciate her. And, you know, I've been here for a few days, and she's really shown that she's pretty working on her stuff. And I want to.
And Bella has had a big change. I know we all see her positive energy has definitely gone up since she's
That's
been
what
out
I'm
of the
saying.
garden.
And I want to. What we focus on is what grows. If we show her that we value how much she's changed, and that we're excited to work with her, that we're just a little nervous because we got hurt before, and we're open to her, you know, being a new person, and we're going to try to keep our guards down.
Okay. So just to close this off then on a follow back up, the game plan is Cal's going to give us everything he thinks we need to go forward in the farm here. Nikki and I are going to present it to Diane tomorrow, see if we can't get our barter up to at least $100, see if we can arrange something with her to get those things bartered. And then from then on, we are going to decide whether or not we are going to keep the heels or till over everything.
So not
Can I
do
mention one
anything
more
yet.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You've been waiting.
Oh, I was just wondering, can I be part of the garden now?
You're always part of it.
Yay!
I
Please.
never was.
You always are part of it.
I was?
Sensitive
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
you wake up and water with me. That's why I told you to come to the garden. I thought you would.
Yay.
Yes, we'd love some help. Please come in the morning and help us work.
If you could show
And then
me
after we talk to Diane, whoever wants to be involved,
Yep.
Once we have everything figured out in a game plan, then we can go to Bella and have the talk you wanted to have with her.
That's wonderful.
I don't want anything to do with Diane. We had a falling out a few years ago. And
Yeah,
it would just
Don't
be
hold
better.
grudges, man.
Yeah, well,
I
it
feel
would
like
just be
between
better.
you and the goblins, like
All right.
your garden morale has really gone down. I don't want
know.
you to be so sad because goblins and Diane are everywhere in life, bro.
True, I know. They just
You
change
know?
But
faces.
there's only one goblin here. Is there not? Or
Cal, do you think
Can
we
I
need
get back
to...
though?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would love to spend $150, maybe even $100, and buy a 1.5-inch black poly pipe that's flexible. We can run water right down here, take one of the troughs in there, and just goes in the trough all the time, so we can, right
Oh,
by
from
that
the
post.
waterfall.
From the waterfall. It's gravity feed. We can run water and then just take it off the waterfall. When we
Do you
don't
think
run
that's something we can address after we get like?
Absolutely. I'm just
Utility.
planning, putting in everyone's mind. Last thing, we do not need this gigantic disc. This is a 100-acre farm disc. This is a 20-acre farm disc. Like, even, I don't think that I could physically use it on this even once.
Can we sell it?
Barter.
I want to barter it. Or yeah, yes, we can sell it. It's worth $300 to $500.
Wow.
Right.
Sitting on gold.
And so we need a lot of seeds, right? Because I said I plant one bed, and then a week later I plant another bed, and this, requires more seeds. And we have pretty much nothing that I need right now. For spring we've got a lot, especially because of Bella's stuff. I brought a bunch of seeds, but they're not in my box. It must be in my backpack still. So we don't have them.
Good.
for the spring stuff, when would you figure starting things to
I
get
need that
to
book.
the spring?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you. Like, The only reason I know anything now is because I talked to a gardener about 4 days ago that was from here, and he's like, "Your window for fall planting is way bigger than it is where I live."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're at the end of that, but if you get a warm fall, you do just fine."
Do you think there's something online you could use?
She was telling me about that, and I'm totally open to that. I'm not good
Yeah.
at all with computers. I mean, I can send an email, maybe.
I'll try to get us on the Farmer's Almanac.
You can find Mediterranean, like Southern California gardening,
Yeah.
question and answer sessions. But I really like a reference.
No,
I'm
I
like,
know. It's nice to have that book.
tomatoes,
That's good.
like,
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
pH? I'd love to know, read a history. What's it been like here the last 20,000 years? And what's it like, did they gold mine here? Because if they hydraulic this, which is like running water over the ground to wash the topsoil away to get the gold out, this is things I'd like to know. Where I live, it's been raining forever, so we have clay, and it's really acid because it washed all the lime out.
Oh.
I know that because I know what the weather's been like there for 100,000 years.
Right.
Here, I don't know what that tree's called. I mean, it's an oak of some kind. I don't know.
It's a hocus pocus.
Yeah, so I'm just
Elder
not
tree.
familiar, and I just want to be clear that information is power in all sorts of realms, and I'd like to know more because I'm less likely to make mistakes.
I feel like I used to see that book in the.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Where did that go?
I've seen that. It was just sitting on the chair a bunch of times.
I mean, Amazon, $5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how cheap you can get a book.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really
Well,
is.
write it on your.
And a book is like, I go there, I
Diane
don't have
might
to think
have
it's
a book,
Sunday,
too.
I can't
That's
look.
true. We can ask her
Diane
as part.
loves
We can ask
books.
her as part
I'll
of
tell
the
you that much.
A book that's really good
Yeah.
for the trade. Because I'm
Yeah.
telling you the truth. You get books and they are not good. I mean,
Right.
people write them that think they know something,
Right.
and they don't.
Part of what I'm working, I've already asked about switching to get internet on Sundays because we do business on Sundays, and so it's not really feasible not to have internet on the days.
Right.
So, unfortunately we can't really check anything today, but tomorrow, first thing, so she can respond right away. As soon as the internet goes on, we can even draft the email tonight to send.
Yeah, it'll shoot out in the morning.
Exactly.
All right.
So-
Well, good job, gang.
Awesome.
Proud
All right.
of you.
Do we need
And
to?
then Chompkins,
Yes.
can you find time to go over the list thus far?
Yes.
Cal,
Well,
you think we
wait
can
till he
prune this
completes
tree
it.
or what?
Okay.
What's going on here?
It's
like a mess.
You can't prune it this time of year no matter what.
In
Rob,
the spring?
let him
In the late
complete it
winter.
first.
Okay.
Oh,
Everything, all the
You know,
leaves
and
got to
then
be
you'll
out,
get
and
it
I'd love to
tonight.
prune it.
It'll be
Yeah.
complete.
That's cool. It looks like a
Honestly,
real
I don't
mess.
know what it is.
It's a catalpa plant.
Does anyone want to go swimming?
Are you joking?
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Okay.
What I want
It's
to
some
do
kind
is
of
I want to
fruit
play
tree.
Swimming.
football with jumping off the dock and catching the ball.
That
I will
sounds
throw you
good.
the ball. Let's go.
Let's
Sounds good.
swim.
Break with a swim, guys. Good job. Good meeting, everybody. Good meeting. Good meeting.
Good meeting, good meeting.
Good meeting, everybody.